Welcome back. So the next set of exponent rules we're going to take a look at is called the power of a power rule and the power of a product rule. So these are another two very important rules. And so if we take a look at what they are, the power of a power rule is when we have something to the power of a number. And then that number is to a power of another number. And in a case like this, what we do is we have our base, which is represented by the a, and then we have m times n. So this is telling us when a power is brought to a power, these get multiplied. The other one is a power of a product. So if two things are being multiplied, and those two things, or even 3, 4, however many things, are brought up to an exponent, that exponent gets applied to everything in the brackets, as we can see here. So we're going to give a try and try out a whole bunch of different problems of different kind of difficulties. So to start off, we have number 1 says 2 to the power of 4 to the power of 2. So this is a power of a power because we have a number raised to the power of something raised to the power of something else. And in a case like this, what we do is we're going to multiply them. So what we actually are looking at is our base, which is 2, and the exponent is 4 times 2. So the final answer is 2 to the 8. If we take a look at 2, now we have 4 to the power of 5 to the power of 3. So once again, we keep that base, and then we're going to have 5 multiplied by that 3. And then we can just do that, so 4 to the power of 15. And this is why I said in the other video, you usually just want to keep it as an exponent because that number could be humongous or it's really big, and it's a lot easier to work with when it looks like this. All right, so our next one is a little bit different because now we have 3 powers. We have 4 to the power of 3 to the power of 2 to the power of 4. And how we actually approach a question like this is the exact same. When there's a power of a power, we multiply it. So we have our base of 4, and technically what we have is 3 multiplied by 2. However, we do need to still remember that it's also to the power of 4. So we can start by doing 4, and the power is 6, 3 times 2, and then that's to the power of 4. So that tells us we then have to do 4 to the power of 6 times 4, which will give us 4 to the power of 24. And that will be our final outcome. And you can kind of see that. You could have also just gone 3 times 2 times 4, and that would have gotten you that 24. So number 4, what we're looking at is that power of a product. So we have 2 different variables with exponents being multiplied. And what we need to do is we're going to apply this exponent to both the x and the y. So if we write it out, what we have is x squared, and if we apply that exponent to it, that exponent was a 3, and then we have y to the 4, and we also need to apply that to the y, so we have a 3. We then multiply, so we'll do 2 times 3 and 4 times 3, which will leave us with x to the 6, y to the 12. We then stop there, and the reason we stop there is because we know that to do these rules, we need the base to be the same. So we're just going to leave it like that. So next one we're looking at is the same idea. 2 things are being multiplied, and then they're raised to an exponent. So we're going to write it out as 2 to the power of 3 and x to the power of 3. We can actually do 2 to the power of 3. That's just going to give us a number. However, sometimes it might be a larger number. In this case, 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which gives us 8. So the final answer for this is actually 8x cubed. Our last example we have is x, y, z, all raised to the power of 3. So what we do is we're just going to apply that 3 to the x, the y, and the z, which will give us x cubed, y cubed, z cubed. So that's how we go about using the power of a power rule and the power of a product rule. So feel free to subscribe and follow along for more videos.